Okay, so let's see what our big beautiful boy has to say.
To an end as soon as possible, but Ukraine has to preserve its territory and president.
That's right.
Yeah.
Very famous place. Any questions, please?
Jumping right in.
Israel forced your hand to launch these strikes against Iran.
Duh.
Is that enough to pull the United States into this war?
No, I might have forced their hand. You see, we were having negotiations with
I might have
these.
forced their hand. It was all a Trump's idea. He told Israel. He said, "You have to go to war. You have to go to war so that we can go to war." It was all him. This is definitely not Israel. We swear.
Lunatics. And it was my opinion that they were going to attack first. They were going to attack. If we didn't do it, they were going to attack first. I felt strongly about that. And we have great negotiators,
Iran
great people,
was, I
people
assume.
that do this very successfully.
That's what he meant.
And have done it all their lives very successful. And based on the way the negotiation was going, I think they were going to attack first. And I didn't want that to happen. So
Neither
if
did I.
anything, I might have forced Israel's hand. But Israel was ready, and we were ready, and we've had a
That's
a very,
clearly
very
not the case.
powerful impact because virtually everything they have has been knocked.
Like, I think it goes without saying, but most people understand that this is Israel's war. I've said it before, like, Israel has been planning this for decades, and Trump is just kind of along for the ride. Like, I don't want to say he's going full Brandon on this. Like, he's not fully lost his mind yet, but like, I think that he knows that he's lying here, but yeah, this was definitely Israel.
Out now. Their missile count is going way down. Amazingly, they're
How's our
hitting
missile count
countries that
doing?
were,
Just curious.
let's call them neutral, right? They lived together for a long time. I think they were surprised. I was surprised. And now those countries are all fighting against them and fighting strongly against them. Someday they'll write a story and they'll say why they did that, but they hit countries that had nothing to do with
Nothing to do
what's
with
going
it.
on. They were sort of leaving everything alone. All of a sudden, they had missiles shot in, which shows you the
Those
level
bases, they were just someone else just put them there, and they charged America somehow. Like, you look through our balance sheet, like, somehow we paid for them all, but definitely, like, it wasn't us who put them there. Like, they're not our military bases. They were just hitting random ones.
of evil that we're dealing with. They'll hit people that were actually at least somewhat friendly, and they had no problems with it. Also hitting only civilian places,
Only
hotels,
civilian.
apartment buildings.
They didn't hit a
We're hitting them
single
where it is
military target.
much more appropriate. We're hitting them very hard, and the
So
big
appropriate. Those two strikes on that school were definitely the most appropriate military targets.
scale hitting goes now. They no longer have air protection. They no longer have any detection facilities at all left, and
Detection
So they're gonna-
facilities.
they're going to be in for a lot of hurt. These are bad people. These are people that killed. I guess it's 35,000. It's coming out 35,000 over the last 3 weeks. Protesters, 35,000 violently killed.
This is the funniest
So these
thing.
are-
This number has gone up like 10 times since it happened. Like, it started, I swear it started at like a few hundred or something when it first happened. And then like it went up to like 1,100. And then yesterday I heard Lil Marco say that it was up to like 10,000, or I think it was him who said it. And then now Trump's like, it's 35,000. Pretty soon it'll be 100,000. Like, they are like 20 million. They killed 20 million protesters the other day. Don't ask questions. I know Iran only has 90 million people. They killed 20 million of them.
Bad people, and the leader of the pack is gone. And as you know, 49 people were taken out in the first hit, and I guess there was another hit today on the new leadership, and it looks like that was pretty substantial also.
No
So
leadership.
they're getting hit very hard, and we'll see what happens.
This just shows, though, that they have no plans of negotiating with anybody. Like, they would not be taking out the new leadership as soon as it replaced the old leadership if they were actually trying to negotiate something here.
A lot of people are coming forward. A lot of the people you would least suspect want to quit. They want to have immunity. They're asking for immunity.
Begging for it.
And probably at some point they'll be dropping, as you would say, laying down their guns. We'll see what happens. In the meantime, we're just
Dropping
continuing
them.
to go forward. Our military is the #1 in the world by far. And
That's
we
true.
are, everything's big in my book. Venezuela was big, this is big, the original
Well,
hit.
one of these is a little bit bigger than the other ones, like Venezuela, Cuba, and then Iran. Like, I think one of these was just a little bit bigger than the others.
Midnight Hammer was big, everything you
Oh,
view is
Midnight
big.
Hammer
but,
was so big.
it's
The biggest hammer.
It's not considered very big by some standards, by some of our standards. We have a military like no other military that's ever been built.
What's the worst case scenario that you have planned for?
I don't like to think about that.
Well, I don't know if there's a worst case. We have very much
No such thing as a worst case. Everything's
beaten
the best.
militarily from the military standpoint.
Not even in hypotheticals is there a worst case. Only the best.
Still lobbing some missiles. At some point, they won't even be able to do that because we're hitting all of their carriers. We're hitting all of their missile stock. You know, they built up all these missiles over the last few years. They had a lot of
Yeah.
them. They've
I
shot
said the other
a
day,
lot
that's
of them, and we're
impressive.
knocking out a lot.
But so they're gonna always say that, like, they're almost out of missiles, and we're probably gonna hear this a few more times. We're probably gonna hear this, in maybe a couple weeks, or assuming it keeps going that long, we'll probably hear it then. We'll probably hear it in about a month. We'll hear it in a couple months. Like, always take it with a grain of salt. Iran usually is pretty accurate when they give their estimates for how long they can continue these things. Like, I mean, maybe they beef it up a little, and if there's not as much communication between all of the people who are shooting the missiles and stuff, or keeping track of them. But like, they said 60 to 90 days. So, like, if you want to know when they'll actually probably start running out and it'll start slowing down a lot, it would be like around then. So I'd say at least, like, give it 60 days. And then at that point, then we have to decide, like, they're probably going to start trying to, they're probably still producing, or at least trying to still produce, if they can, to some extent, like, while this is going on, so that they can try and keep it going as long as possible. But at that point, we'll just be in, the normal sort of quagmire that America loves to get into.
I guess the worst case would be we do this and then somebody takes over who's as bad as the previous person, right? That could happen.
That's the worst. Well, here, I got one for you. Somebody who's worse. Oh wait, I got one who's even worse than that. Someone who's even worse than that.
We don't want that to happen. It would probably be
Satan.
the worst. You go through
What if
this
Satan
and
takes over? If Satan takes over the Iranian government, would that be the worst?
then in 5 years you realize you put somebody in who is no better. So we'd like to see somebody in there that's going to bring it back for the people. And we'll see what happens with the people. You know, they have their chance. And we've said don't do it yet. If you're going to go out and protest, don't do it yet. It's
Don't do it
very
yet.
dangerous out there. A lot of bombs are being
When they
dropped.
saw that nobody was going out there, they're like, don't do it yet, don't do it yet.
But I would say that
Rise
would be
up, but
about
not
the
yet,
worst.
not yet.
Do you have someone in mind right now? Because you said all the people you did have in mind have
Who's
been
he
taken
want?
out.
What do we think Donald Trump's top pick? What do we think his top pick for new leader of Iran is? Maybe Barron Trump, get Slenderman in there. I mean, he's really tall. Like, they might respect him for that.
Most of the people we had in mind are dead. So, you
Yeah,
know, we
knowing Trump, it'll be some State Department goon.
had some in mind from that group that is dead. And now we have another group. They may be dead also,
They're all dead.
based on reports. So I guess you have a third wave coming in. Pretty sure we're not going to know anybody. But we have, Venezuela was so incredible because we did the attack and we kept government totally intact.
I know.
And we have
It's almost as
Delcy,
if-
who's been
It's almost as if you didn't really do anything at all.
very good. We have the whole chain of command, and they've been, you know, look, the
I won't say they
relationship's been
didn't
great.
do
We've taken
anything. Like, they did convince them to stop sending oil to Cuba. So, like, okay, they did accomplish one goal with that.
out 100 million barrels of oil already, and a big part of that goes to them, and a big part goes to us. And it's been great. We paid for the war many times over, and we're going to be running the
It's
oil.
all funny money.
And Venezuela is going to make more money than they ever made, and that's great for the people. The relationship
They're
has
going to
been
make
great.
money. We're
It's
going to
been
make money
seamless.
out of thin air.
Nobody's actually ever seen anything like it. If you look at Iraq, where very stupidly everybody was fired, the generals were fired, the military was fired, the police were fired, the fire departments were fired,
What?
and all of the government workers were fired. So after, you know, people would call, they had no idea. And by the way, ISIS was formed. That's where ISIS came from.
Yeah.
All of the fired people.
Yeah.
I don't believe in that. So we'll see what
we
happens. but,
invaded Iraq, and then ISIS was created. And so now we're invading in Iran, which is a lot bigger. So maybe super mega, like Mecca ISIS is going to be created after that.
First, we have to finish off the military.
What do you think? I
I thought they were laying down their arms.
Is he an option at all in your mind?
I guess he is. Some people like him, and we haven't been thinking about too much about that. It would seem to me that somebody from within maybe would be more appropriate. I've said that. He looks like a very nice person.
Oh, is this the expat guy?
But
He's
it
like
would seem
60
to
now.
me that somebody that's there, that's
I heard
currently
someone say that he
popular
wouldn't
is such a
even make it
person.
from the plane to the.
But we have people like that. We have
where
people
they're
that were
staying,
more
like,
moderate.
They would.
You
They
know,
would just
these
kill
were
him if he
radical
landed
lunatics,
there.
and you know what they get?
I don't
They
think
get
he's gonna
nothing.
be
All they
leaving
do is kill
anytime soon.
people.
What exactly was the end of
You've
it?
asked, not your turn.
What is that?
Not your turn,
turn.
please.
Mr. President, are you going to take the heat off the Europeans with potentially helping Mark Rutte hold on
It's too quiet. I'm gonna turn on the captions.
the allies to also help you?
What does that mean?
Well, you have to ask Mark Rutte. He said not as part of NATO, but to be helpful to you in this. And will
Well,
be-
some of the European nations have been helpful and some haven't. And I'm, very surprised. Germany's been
Technically,
great.
we're at war. That means all NATO nations need to
Terrific.
come to the rescue.
Others
Come
have
save
been
America.
very good. Terrific.
That's why
I
people
think-
join NATO, right? That's why they join NATO, is to come save America when they overextend themselves in military adventurism.
That the head of NATO, Mark, is fantastic. Okay? Mark Rutte. I think he's fantastic. But some of the European,
Classic
like Spain, has been
businessman move.
terrible.
Remember the name.
In fact, I told Scott to cut off
That's
all
why I know I would be a terrible businessman. I can't remember anybody's names.
dealings with Spain. Spain, first of all, it started when every European nation, at my request, paid 5%, which they should be doing. And everybody was enthusiastic about it, Germany, everybody. And Spain
We'll see
didn't
if
do
that
it.
happens.
And now
I have
Spain
my doubts.
actually said that we can't use their bases, and that's all right. We don't.
Oh,
we can use
Spain
their
did
bases if we
that.
want. We
Okay.
can just fly in and use
Way to
it.
go, Spain.
Nobody's going to tell us not to use it, but we don't have to. But they were unfriendly, and so I told
Wow,
them.
Spain is the only one who's willing to even mildly stand up to the America of the EU. And I think that's been the case for a while. I think if I remember, they have like a socialist presidency. So it's not like surprising, I guess, that if there was going to be one country in the EU that like doesn't go along with American, shit policy, like it would probably be them.
We don't want to. Spain has absolutely nothing that we need other than great people. They have great people, but they don't have great leadership. And as
Leadership
you
is
know,
not
they were the
people.
only country
It's a
that
dog,
NATO
actually.
would not agree to go up to 5%.
They elected Clifford the Big Red Dog, and we don't like him.
I don't think they agreed to go up to anything. They wanted to keep it at 2%, and they don't pay the 2%. So we're going to cut off all trade with Spain. We don't want anything
All
to do with
trade,
Spain.
oh god. Is that legal? Like, I know this go to Supreme Court, they ruled his tariffs legal, but is he still allowed to just like cut off all trade? I guess so. It's technically different, right?
And I'm not, by the way, I'm not happy with the UK either.
Never.
That island that you read about, the lease, okay, he made it, for whatever reason, he made a lease of the island. Somebody came and took it away from him.
What?
And it's taken 3-4 days for us to work out
lease to an
where we
island?
can land there. It would have been much more convenient
Oh.
landing there as opposed to flying many extra hours.
Yeah, and so this is, I'm assuming they wanted to land their plane somewhere or something, or I know that there were talks of like they wanted to get the UK more involved or something, and I think they said no, which good for them. I'm a little bit surprised, to be honest. So that must be what he's talking about, but with Donald Trump, it's so hard to tell sometimes.
So we are very surprised. This is not Winston Churchill that we're dealing with.
Mr. President, what's your
I always love when neocons love
What can
Winston
Germany
Churchill.
do and what should Germany do to help you in this moment?
Well, I think they're doing
Germany.
it. I mean,
Germany will be all in, baby. Germany is gonna run into this war like it's, you know, like we're leading up to World War II. Like they are ready. They are going to join America. They're gonna join Israel. They're like they've been waiting for this. This is their moment. I swear this time, they're like it's all gonna work out for them. I swear.
they're letting us land in certain areas, and we appreciate it, and they're just making it comfortable. We're not asking them to put boots on the ground or anything. I mean, we're just
We're not even
they're a
doing that.
respected country. I have a very good
So much
relationship
respect.
with the country. We have, in particular now, with this leader, with this new leader. I think he's an excellent leader.
I don't even
I
know
had my
who the German leader
differences
is.
with Angela. I said, you're hurting your country with immigration and you're hurting your country with energy. And we have a
Yeah,
man
you're hurting your
sitting
country.
on my right.
It's not like, oh, you're not allowed to buy cheap Russian exports anymore, like because Ukraine, like we're at war with Russia through Ukraine, like so we sanctioned Russia and now you can't get energy at a decent price, like. Oh, and by the way, all of the energy prices are about to go up like 50 to 100% in Russia. I'm sure they'll love eating that one.
That is, I think, pretty much the opposite of her on energy and the opposite on immigration. And I think he's doing very well.
Commercial air travel right now is severely restricted in the Middle East, and thousands of Americans are stranded. Why wasn't there an evacuation plan? And will you send
That's a decent question.
people out?
Well, because it happened all very quickly. We thought...
All very
I
quickly.
thought
They were planning
maybe
this for
more so than
weeks.
most. I could ask Marco. But I thought we were going to have a situation where we were going to be attacked. They were getting ready to attack Israel. They were getting ready to attack others.
They were getting
You're
ready.
seeing that right now. And a lot of those
That's why all the
missiles
preemptive
that are-
strikes. There's the Israel preemptive strike, and then the America preemptive strike, and then Iran did a preemptive strike, and it's just I don't think there's even been a regular strike yet. It's all preemptive strikes all the way down.
hitting in. Those are stationary. Those
War
are
hasn't
aimed
even
there for
started
a
yet.
long period of time at these other countries. So I think I was right about that. We attacked first, and if we didn't, it could have been, look, we're really decimating them. They're being decimated.
Decimated.
And
Decimation.
if we didn't, and by the way, we have massive amounts of ammunition.
Massive.
We have the high end.
You know when he's bringing this up out of nowhere, right? Like you know, right? Like, there's not that many. Like, he would not be saying this. He would not be saying this if they were good on ammunition. Like, this is classic Donald Trump, like, accidentally saying the exact opposite of, or like saying the exact opposite of what the truth is and thinking that like nobody's catching on, but like, we're catching on a little bit, Don.
A lot of it
Don.
was given away stupidly by Biden, very stupidly, for free. And I'm all for Ukraine, but they gave away a lot. As you know, when I give away ammunition, everybody pays for it. The European Union's paying for it. Then they can do what they want with it, but they are giving it, let's say, to Ukraine, and it's okay. But we gave away a lot of high-end, but we have plenty. But we have
Plenty.
unlimited middle and upper ammunition, which is
Ooh,
really what
uppers.
we're using in this war.
Yeah,
And
that's
we have
what I took this morning.
really an unlimited supply. We also have a lot of the very high-end stored in different countries throughout the world, we're literally
I can't wait
storing
for
it
the
there, which
CD,
is
by the way.
actually something that I insisted on in my first term. I rebuilt the military in my first term. The military is great.
Rebuilt it,
a
got
lot
rid of woke,
unbelievable amount of
the most unwoke
ammunition
military in the
or
world.
munitions, as they say, we're giving away to, the Wall Street Journal incorrectly covered the story when they said that it was given away to the Middle East. Not to the Middle East, it was given away to Ukraine.
Yeah,
Very
I
little
mean-
was given to the Middle
It was given away to all of them. Like this is this is the story of America over the past 10 years. Is we use up our munitions that take like a year to make one of them. And then they each cost like $1 million, and then we use them all up on Ukraine, or we use a significant portion of them, and then we start bullying everybody while we're already kind of like pretty short on our stockpiles. And then we do the 12-day war, and then we go through like 20% of what we had left, and then now we're in this war, and by the time this is done, there's not going to be a single missile left to like protect us or something. Like, and not that we have anything really we need protecting from. I don't think Mexico or Canada are going to invade anytime soon. But like, to all of the like, I don't know, the people who said that they like we need to start focusing on America or America first, like all that sort of stuff. It's like I don't know how you can see using our hundreds of millions of dollars worth of missile interceptors that take years, if not decades, to restockpile, like how that is in any way America first.
East. Middle East would buy a lot, and some of the nations, because they're rich, they have a lot, but it was given away to Ukraine, and it just should have been done. Look, it's a war that should have never happened. If I were president,
True.
that war would have never happened.
Oh,
But
definitely.
we have a
100.
tremendous amount of ammunition.
Never would have happened.
At the upper level,
Can you imagine if Biden wasn't president? Not a single war.
middle and upper level, all of which is really powerful stuff.
The rabble rousers. I always think this is so funny. Like this whole how they take questions. It seems so primitive to me. Like that they just have a group of people just yell for attention, and that's how they decide who they're gonna take the question from. It's like, don't you think we could have come up with like a more effective system at this point, like a take your number system, or like, or getting like we create a line. Like, I don't know. This just seems so primitive to me.
Those of you, how worried are you that the rising prices for gas and oil are damaging the
Not worried at all.
economy, and also Mr. Chancellor?
Yeah, do you want to go ahead?
Yeah, sure. This is, of course, damaging
Drink
our
from
economies.
others.
This is true for the oil prices, and this is true for the gas prices as well. So that's the reason why we all hope that this
that the
war will
MERS? Is
come
that
to
the
an end
shipping
as
dude?
soon as possible. And we are hoping that the Israeli and the American army are doing the right things to bring this to an end and to have really a new government in place who is
You're gonna be
coming
waiting a
back
long
to
time, buddy.
Yeah. Something had to be done. And it's been
Donald
47
Trump's
years.
posture.
They've been
I've said this like a couple times, but Donald Trump always just gave me such like Michael Scott energy. Like the way he carries himself, the way that he just like lies obviously. Like he lies in like everybody knows he's lying, but he still lies. It's like very like 12-year-old coded, you know.
killing people all over the world for a long time. They were the kings and fathers of the roadside bomb. Soleimani, we killed him last term.
We killed a
If we
lot of
didn't, I
people,
think it
man.
might be a different story today. They would have been much stronger and smarter than they are. But they did the roadside bombs. 95% of the people lost their legs, arms, had their
This
face
is that.
wiped
The
out.
IED
Wiped
shit.
out. I've seen some young people that it's so sad to watch. And that was almost all, 95% comes from Iran and with Soleimani. Soleimani loved his favorite weapon. He loved the roadside bomb.
He
And when you
loved
see
it. It
people
was his
walking around
favorite
with no
thing.
legs and no arms and a face that's been blown to hell, these people, what they have to go and the way they have to live, this is Iran. when you look at the barracks, the famous barracks, when you look at the hostages, when you look at a lot of hostages, when you look at all of the problems, they were really a purveyor of terror all over the world for many, many years.
It's my favorite thing that
And
he
it's
says
something
terror
that had to
instead
be
of
done.
terror.
Something, and I believe that if we didn't, because I see where Congress, you know, if I didn't do this,
The terror.
guys like Schumer, who are losers, the Democrats,
They are losers. That's
why
true.
they're
I
not here.
agree. Chuck
Guys
Schumer
like
can go
Schumer
fuck
would say,
himself.
well, you should have done this. In other words, if I did it, it's no good. If I didn't do it, they would have said the opposite. that
This
you
is exactly why the Dems suck at messaging. This exactly is what he's saying right here, because he's not wrong. He is 100% correct. He is 100% correct that the Democrats wanted this to do this, and now they're complaining about process. And so when he does this argument where he says, well, you don't want me to do it, or you want me to do it, but you don't want me to do it because I'm not doing it the right way, like, what, who cares? I'm just going to do it. Like, just be happy about it. Like, that's a much better, like, that's going to win over a lot of people. Like, I think a lot of people will agree with that statement. It just makes the Democrats look fucking stupid. And they're doing this to themselves. This is where they're just collaborators with, like, fascism, because they can't openly come out and call what he's doing fascist, and, like, we don't want it to be done. Like, they can't unequivocally just say, we don't want to go to war with Iran, because they do.
should have done this, but most people feel, I'll tell you what, I have never had more compliments on something I did.
I'm sure.
People
I'm
felt
sure.
it's something that had to be done. So
All the billionaires, they are loving this. This has been the best week of their life.
we have a little high oil prices for a little while, but as soon as this ends, those prices are going to drop, I believe, lower
Drop
than
like a rock.
even before.
Even lower.
Wait,
what am I doing?
Go ahead, please.
I gotta collect my rewards.
Yes.
How do you want to solve the conflict on tariffs between the EU and the US in this
Between who?
the conflict on tariffs between the EU and US? How do you want to solve
And U.S. and who?
EU, European Union.
it? How do you want
I couldn't
Well,
hear his question.
We won on tariffs, actually. Somebody
We
said
won?
you actually won the case. We won on tariffs. We had a decision that was wrong. It was a very bad decision from
Terrible
certain
decision.
standpoints. From other standpoints, a very powerful decision because it reaffirmed all the fact that we have all these various forms of tariffs that we felt right, but it totally reaffirmed it. It said you can use all of these tariffs. So we have all these vast menus of tariffs, and tariffs have made our country
I've
very
never
rich.
heard one person say the word tariff so
We
many
have to
times.
charge tariffs to nations who play with their money. You know, they move their money up and down like a yo-yo. We have to take care of nations that have been good to us and fair to us, and we're going to take care of them. Other nations,
I do think
they
I got a
haven't,
new
and we haven't let
subscriber.
them
It
take
happened
advantage
today.
of this. But the
I'm gonna say it was the short. The short did it. It got like 400 views last time I checked.
The whole thing with tariffs is we had a decision that, like, as an example, we have a license situation, and the license is something that allows us to immediately stop all business with, nobody even knew we had this power, but we do now because of the decision. We have the right to stop all business having to do
Maybe
with a
Then maybe I'll
certain
get
country. If a
another
certain
person
country's
on.
not treating us well,
Another person to watch.
the president, without going to Congress, has the right to stop. Sort of interesting. I have the right to stop, but under that one law, I didn't have the right to charge them. So I have the right to license them, but I don't have the right to charge, which is frankly ridiculous. But the right was given to us by the Supreme Court, and we have the right, as an example, we talked.
1 second. I'm trying to figure out if there's a way to like mute this chat stuff. Well, maybe it's a good idea. I don't know. I guess for now I'll leave the sound on for the chats, but I'm like, I don't know if I want every chat to make that noise unless they just do that for like, maybe they don't do it if it's going fast.
About Spain. I could tomorrow stop, or today, even better, stop everything having to do with Spain. All business having to do with Spain. I have the right to stop it. Embargoes, do anything I want with it. And we may do that with
anything I
Spain.
want.
What do you think?
Can't tariff them, but I can do a full embargo.
You have strong power in the Supreme Court clarify. We know you can
That's
use
true.
it.
That's
and
true.
if you
I'm
need to
pretty
use it
oblivious
to
sometimes.
assure national and economic security.
Although I do think I could learn to look. I think I could learn to look at chat more often if there were actually people talking a decent amount.
Scott, do you have an opinion?
Sir, I agree. The
Oh,
Supreme
that's
Court
it.
reaffirmed your ability
Fucking Kermit sounding motherfucker.
to implement an embargo. And as we've talked, from your first term, the Section 301s and the 232s have withheld more than 4,000 lawsuits. And
And look at this
USTR
guy,
and Commerce
JD
are going to
Vance.
instigate,
He's aging
are going to begin
fast, dude.
investigations, and we'll move forward with
This
those.
Iran war is crushing him. He looks bad.
And we've instituted a 15% tariff on everybody, as you know. And
Trump's not looking
just
too bad
used,
in this one.
I'll
I
tell
don't know
you,
why. They got the
we had a
spray tan
couple
just
of-
right.
paragraphs written in that opinion that were really incredible. Justice Kavanaugh wrote a fantastic dissent, but in his dissent he said what we should do,
Okay,
and we knew that
tariffs,
too.
whatever.
We just wanted to simplify it, and for some reason, authority, a very, very good relationship with China, and we have a very good.
Ooh, China talk.
Will you be talking about, and the president,
She liked. I thought so. I could see.
so Mr. Johnson, you have been in China and the president
She likes you.
in China.
Well, I think Trump lied.
Will you be talking about China and what is this?
We'll be talking about China. Yeah. Sure.
And what about your
I'll be going to China in a little while. Every time you meet, you talk about China. We respect China. I do. We both do, I think. But
So much respect.
it's always a topic of conversation. We've had a very good relationship with China. We used to lose a tremendous amount of money with China, and that's no longer the case. We have a very, very good relationship with China, and we have a very good relationship with Germany.
I was reading an article earlier about how like China is like getting really pissed off with the Trump administration in terms of like planning these events, like because China likes to go in with everything lined out of exactly what's being agreed to, and like they don't like how Trump is basically just like goes in with like no regard, like doesn't plan anything, like has no actual idea what the deal is going to look like whenever they're done. And I don't know, I'm just like thinking like China right now, I feel like with all this shit that's happening in terms of the war, like I feel like they have to be at like the highest bargaining position they've ever had with an American president. And I guess this will be about trade or whatever, but like at some point also China just needs to take a stand against like what we're doing. This like we're going a little hog wild, if you know what I'm saying.
Thank you, Mr. President. We've seen countries around the world, many of whom don't usually work together, working with the United States on Iran. Whether it's Saudi Arabia working with the United States, Israel,
What?
Qatari shooting down Iranian aircraft. And
Don't work together. What are they talking about? They're all part of the same. They're all allies, and they're all there to help protect Israel. Like, I think maybe they're confused. I mean, most Americans, I think, are probably confused about the relationship between all of these countries. But in general, all of the Gulf nations are there to protect Israel, and that's why their leadership is given and allowed so much power and influence by the American military, because they know that they're like going to be pro-Israel, and so. Like the people that live there do not like Israel. Like they do not fuck with Israel. But America isn't really that concerned about that because they know that like as long as they can keep the monarchies and stable and stuff, they're probably not going to rise up and like overthrow their government anytime soon.
we've also seen European countries step up. Why are we seeing such unity around the world against Iran?
That's a great point. Look, they're just evil. They're
Evil.
it's
That's
not the
why.
politics. It's their whole philosophy. It's their whole where they come from. It's terrible. Where they killed 35,000. I thought it was 32. Now it turns out it's much more
Turned
than
out to
35,000 people. and in some cases using machine guns with people that have no weapon. They have no weapon, and they're being machine gunned. They're being sniped from buildings. They're hitting the people with snipers right through the eyes. It's just a very
That's some Israel
evil
kind of
ideology, and nobody's really seen anything like it. As I said, even the fact that they've
Well,
attacked
we've seen
all of
it.
it.
We've seen a little bit like that. We've seen some pretty, I seem to remember there was an incident where a bunch of Palestinians were walking peacefully in protest towards the Israeli border. And I can't remember exactly what happened, but I think it had to do with snipers, and I think it had to do with, unarmed protesters just getting maimed and killed at like extraordinary levels. So, like, we've seen this before. Like, let's not pretend we haven't. We've done this before.
And the neighbors weren't attacking. They thought they'd maybe sit it out or what. They've
I cannot find this quiz.
hit
Where am I
Qatar. They've hit UAE. They've hit Saudi Arabia. They've hit Oman. They were helping us negotiate. They got hit. Everybody got hit because they're evil and they're
evil.
bad.
And they're bad.
It's a bad seed.
See, very, very complex foreign policy analysis from our big, beautiful boy right there.